Yes, good morning, everyone. In our previous session, we have discussed about what is FSM environment and what is security console, what is meant by implementation project and all this. So now we are going to talk about the basic syllabus, what we are going to cover first, and then we will move into the very important concept, enterprise structure configurator. We'll discuss theoretical part of enterprise structure configurator, and then we will see from tomorrow onwards how we can go for practically configure the enterprise structures. Okay, so as I said, we will be discussing about in depth of 4 modules implementation end-to-end process we are going to discuss. The first one is global HR module. First we'll be discussing the global HR module. So what is global HR module? Configuration of enterprise structure. After that, configuration of workforce structure, job position, grades, departments, and location, and also configuration of workforce life cycle, nothing but employee hiring, transfer, global transfer, termination, rehiring, and other things. And after that, configuration of approval management, securities, and data rules, and mass updates. This all will be performing over here. It is. So in global HR module, it takes at least 20 hours because it is starting module. Will go a little bit slow and we'll be configuring the end-to-end process here. It is. Once we complete the global HR module, then we will enter into the payroll module. So in the payroll module, 50% will be already covering in global HR because that's already linked with our the first module, because enterprise structure, workforce structure, our employee is already ready, right? Then we need to just go ahead with configuration of this payroll setups, and then configuration of the payroll elements, element classifications, and element categories. Then we'll configure earning elements, deduction elements, basic bonus loan elements, and adding these elements to the employees. We'll be working with initially single element and single employee. Then we'll look for the multiple elements and multiple employees, and we'll also write first formula to work with how it will be done. I'll be giving an introduction to the first formula because first formula learning itself is again, it's a separate course. Okay, so but still I'll be able to explain you and what is the first formula, what is the structure of formula, and how it can be done. Then we'll be able to find out that the different options here. And after completion of the payroll module, we'll be working with the options management module. It's a leave management module where we'll be discussing how we can go for configure the options. Nothing but configuration of derived factors, eligibility profile, certifications, plans, and types, integrating with the payroll, fast formulas, again in fast formulas in options management, and how to configure the calendar, HCM calendar, nothing but work schedule. It's working days and shift timings and holidays, how we can go for configure. After that, we'll talk about talent management. This is a combination of 5 modules like profile management, goal management, performance management, and success and plan and talent review. These modules are mainly to manage the employee development information like employee skills, qualifications, performance, goals, and all this data, how we can go for configure. It's very simple, not much complex. We'll find most of the things are theoretical part here, not much setups. As I said, after completion of our global HR, payroll, options, and talent management, 4 modules, functionally end-to-end, then we'll be discussing technical part. Technically, we'll find in the 5 areas. We'll be discussing how we can go for load the data by using HDL, and how we can go for extract the data. The client wants to extract the data for either validation purpose or just wanted to go for integrate with other application. If they want to exchange the data between the applications, they have a very simple tool in human capital management, HCM extracts to get it this here, and BI reports will be used to write the queries here, and OTBI reports is used to build the analysis and securities and approvals that we are going to use to configure the security approvals and personalizations. This all we are going to have it. So this is how we are going to have the technical part, what we are going to discuss here. Then we'll be having interview questions, global HR and payroll, and general notes we will find. Documentation part, we are going to have it here. It is. So regarding syllabus, any doubts you have? Yeah, please. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and rest.
Good morning, sir.
Please go ahead.
So, payroll, right? In the
Yes.
payroll, do you like what payroll do you teach?
In payroll module, we'll be discussing how to perform all the payroll setups like bank setup, consolidation, group, payment methods, elements, configurations, how we can do, and how to set the retro pay and proration methods. And after that, how we can configure earning and deduction elements. We'll be taking a couple of elements examples, how we can go for assign these elements to the employees and run the payroll, how we will generate the pay slips for employees. We'll take example for one employee, one element first, then we'll take multiple employees and multiple elements, and then we are going to talk about different types of payroll processes and reports. This all will be discussing.
Okay. And is this like, do you go with any particular country like UK, USA?
US we are going to discuss.
Okay, got it. Thank you. An interview, you see, in a payroll interview, will it be completely based on US payroll only?
It depends. Like generally, they'll ask which country you have worked, and 10% will be different. That way, if we go through the documentation, we can understand that particular country statutory rules, payroll statutory rules, and we can go for it.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Yeah, this is Rupesh. I have a question.
Please go ahead.
So this covers any part of integration center, like how we can develop, or if there are certain APIs or web services.
No, we are not going to discuss any technical that web services. That is Fusion Technical.
Okay.
Fusion Technical, you can communicate with our admin team. They will provide the videos.
Okay.
Web services and other options you can check. REST or SOAP APIs.
Okay.
Right. Yes.
So not in detail, but at least if we can go through that experience. Like,
no, I wanted to cover more functional because this is functional course basically. The agenda of this course is become as a functional implementer.
Okay.
If we spend time on technical, then that's not going to be useful. So we can provide some videos if somebody is looking for technical aspects.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
So, do we require SQL?
Not required. If you want to build any BI reports, then we will be working with SQL. So SQL basic things are required. That's going to be needed if you are going for the technical consultant.
Okay, and I hear that the SQL will be going to be added in application. So when will going to be added?
That I think, yeah, SQL, which is required basic codes, we are going to add in our mobile app, most probably by Monday. For functional consultants, whatever the basic SQL is required, that's going to be added in our mobile app. so that the people who wants to have some basic idea about SQL, they can just subscribe. I think it will be just $5, I think $5 or $4, not more than that price.
Okay, sir.
Hi. You said like for fusion consultant, they expect more experience during the interview. So can we expect for the freshers will have scope
Yeah,
on
there are some requirements are going on for trained freshers who are giving the offer as a trained fresher with 3 lakhs or 3.5.
Okay.
Sir, what is the difference between Oracle Fusion HCM and Oracle HCM, sir?
Oracle HCM. You are talking about Oracle EBS HCM?
I mean, like
EBS.
just now you said,
Mhm.
yeah, can you
There-
tell me the difference, sir? What, like some people will tell Oracle Fusion HCM and some people will tell like Oracle HCM.
Both are
Is
same.
there any difference? Okay.
Both are same. They may not be knowing that. That's a cloud HCM. Actually, there was an order to cache, like earlier there was an EBS ERP software, which is there in from 1995 onwards. And there we were having HRMS, Human Resource Management System. Of course, EBS is there still. It's one of the ERP, on-premise ERP. Means clients used to install in their laptop and their servers and start working on that. Okay. Then we will be having now, it is Cloud HCM. This is the latest version which we are working.
Noted, sir. Thank you.
Fine.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, there is a written something like 100% placement are you offering now? So can I get a training from you from this batch, and after that, like I have to enroll for the another placement batch, or I can get opportunity from this batch?
Now you please talk with our admin. That is placement means I think that is daily 4 hours. After completion of this particular course, if somebody is looking for a job, they will be joining in that batch, where only the practical point of view, the same assignments and everything will be done from the student's point of view. Means as a trainer, what I am going to teach will be very less.
Okay.
I will
Okay.
ask the student to do it, and I will ask the student to explain it. That will be a 4 hours. 4
Okay.
hours daily it will be there. I think you can communicate with them.
Okay.
After the completion of this course, then you will be able to do that.
But sir, I am fresher right now. I don't have too much experience. 1.5 year experience I have, and it's not in the Oracle part. So can I continue for that? Like, can I
Yeah, no
opt
problem,
out?
because now there are a lot of companies who are taking as a trained freshers also.
Oh,
Who
okay.
has
Okay.
just
Thank you.
completed trained freshers. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, once the trainings are completed, like, will you help in building the resume, sir? Like, will
Yeah,
you,
resume
like,
is a
what are
part
the
of
resume
our
will be there?
resume preparation is a part of our training. I'll be explaining you how to prepare your resumes and documentation. This is all we are going to have discussion.
Sure. Thank you.
It's a part of our resume. I'll be explaining how to prepare a resume, how you have to mention the project names, and what are the roles and responsibilities. Maximum roles and responsibilities we are going to specify whatever we have discussed in our training, because our training will go based on our interview, how it will happen to clear the interview type, and also you'll be able to work in the project through that in the supporting point of view. So we discussed in our previous session, what is implementation project, how we can go for configure the implementation project we have discussed. Okay. And after that, we have something called geographies and geography hierarchies, geography structures. We'll talk about that whenever we are working with the trees concept. That time we'll look into that. Now we are going to talk about ESC. ESC stands for Enterprise Structure Configurator. Enterprise Structure Configurator. It is one of the basic setup which we are supposed to configure when we are implementing human capital management. Not only HCM, even if you go for an implementation of the financials or supply chain management or any other setup you are going to perform, that you will be able to do that here. It is okay, that you are going to perform here. Okay. So whenever we are talking about ESC, ESC stands for Enterprise Structure Configurator. It's nothing but an organization hierarchy. So if I want to implement a HCM for the client called Tata, and this client is having some thousands of employees, to maintain all these employees' information, we'll be using this particular enterprise. Okay. So here we are going to have the enterprise. Enterprise is nothing but a top level organization where the enterprise setups will be specified. There will be only one enterprise. We don't find multiple enterprises over here. We don't find multiple enterprises over here. So there will be only one enterprise. After configuration of this enterprise, then we will go for define the divisions. Within the enterprise, we are going to define the divisions. Division is nothing but an area of the business. For example, here your client is Tata client. So what is the name of the enterprise? Tata Enterprise. And we'll ask our client how many business countries you are doing the business. Let's say client is doing that business in India and the US, and they wanted to decide Tata India is different and Tata US is different. Then we are going to have Tata division and Tata India division and Tata US division. We are going to have two divisions. Here it is. We are going to have two divisions. So division is nothing but an area of the business where we are going to perform our business operations for reporting purpose over here. It is. Okay. So here, sometimes the client wants to take up area-wise as a division or country-wise as a division, or the type of business, what they are doing based on that. For example, Tata Motors is a separate division and Tata Electronics is a separate division. Tata Consulting is a separate division. This all we are going to have as a divisions wise. This all we are going to have divisions wise over here. Okay. But divisions are optional, not mandatory. We are not going to have this divisions much. There will be an enterprise divisions. Still, we don't have any future about this particular organizations in the application at this point of time. Okay. So we are going to have the legal entities directly. After configuration of the enterprise, directly we will go with the legal entity. Directly we will go with a legal entity here. So what is legal entity? Legal entity is nothing but a legal organization where client is performing main business, like where the client has been registered their office. For example, Tata company is there. Let's say client is telling, I have registered my company in India, Tata Motors, Tata Finance, and Tata Insurance. Three companies they have registered. They have registered three companies, three private limited companies in India. Okay, so we call it as a three legal entities. Legal entity is nothing but a legal organization. It's a registered office. It's a registered office. Okay, so we are going to have three legal entities or one legal entity or multiple. Whatever we have that we are supposed to register. So legal entity, once it is registered, then we are supposed to associate with the LDC, Legislative Data Group. Because in this legal entity, once you run the payroll for your employees, you are supposed to maintain your payroll related information. That's why we will be using the LDC. LDC stands for Legislative Data Group. LDC stands for Legislative data group. Okay, so once you run the payroll, then we are going to have the payroll information, right? That we will maintain here, that we are going to maintain over here. We call it as LDG, stands for Legislative Data Group here. And also, whenever we are going to run this legal entity, whenever we are working legal entity, then it is associated with the ledger also. So what is ledger? Ledger is nothing but a group of forces: currency, calendar, chart of accounts, and compliance method. Okay, so let's say we started one company. Obviously, we'll be performing financial transactions, day-to-day transactions we are going to perform. So when you are going to perform day-to-day transactions, that should be associated with the ledger. Ledger is going to be used to maintain all our accounting information in a proper format. Okay. So the ledger is a logical organization which is associated with our legal entity. Okay. So legal entity must be assigned for the ledger, and legal entity must be assigned for the LDC. Ledger is used to maintain the accounting information. LDC is used to maintain the payroll related information. Okay. So once the legal entity is configured, then we have to create a business units within that. Within that, we are going to create a business units. So what is business unit here? Business unit is nothing but an organization where the client is performing main business operations like sales, procurement, payables, receivables. This all we are going to have. It here. It is. Okay. So we will have either one business unit or multiple business units that we are going to associate with the legal entity. Here we will have the branches, like whatever the organization's sales is happening, we call it as a BU, that will be assigned for legal entity. And there will be a reference data set. This reference data set will be used to assign our objects to the business unit. So once we create a BU, we are going to have inside of that departments, jobs, grades, and locations. So that we have to assign to the business unit. So we can't assign those objects directly to the BU. We'll group it as a RDS. Very important question in the interviews. What is reference data set? Reference data set will be used to assign some set of objects to the business units. What are those objects? Department, job, grade, positions. This is all we are going to assign it. Okay. So if at all there are 4 departments in the branch, if client says that there are 4 departments, instead of assigning each department one by one to the business unit, then what we will do is we will group the departments as a reference data set. Then we will assign to the business unit. Business unit. Okay. So whenever we are working with the business unit, we must create a reference data set. Within this reference data set, we are going to have all these departments and jobs, grades, and locations. It's also another question. They will ask us, can you tell me what are the set ID objects we have in enterprise structure? There are 4: department, job, grade, locations. So what is meant by set ID objects? Those objects we cannot assign directly to the business unit. First, we have to assign to the reference data set. Then we have to assign this to the reference data set to the business units. That's how it will work. Here it is. Okay. And there is inside of the business unit, we are going to have the inventory organization. This is inventory organizations. So this inventory organization is also an organization where we are going to maintain our items related information. But this is required for the supply chain management consultant. Okay. So this is not required for us. We can just remember within the business unit, what are the things we'll find. Inventories and sub-inventory and locations and items will be specified. Okay. So whenever we are going to configure an enterprise structure, the requirement gathering will take long time. Configuration of creating the enterprise structure, it won't take much time. It won't take much time. You can go for create an enterprise structure within 1 hour or 2 hours. We can do that. But interacting with the business users and gather those requirements and prepare a document, get an approval from the clients, and after that we'll start configuration of this enterprise. Okay, so first we are going to have an enterprise here. We are going to have an enterprise here first. Within the enterprise, we will define the divisions. Within the division, we will define legal entities. And this legal entity should be associated with the LDC and ledger. Then within the legal entity, we are going to have business units. And with this business unit will be associated with the reference data set. And this reference data set will have the group of objects, set ID objects like department, job, grades, and locations. And within the BU, we will be defining the inventory organization. So this is all we are going to have it. So this is about the enterprise hierarchy. So as I said, there is one other ERP from Oracle Corporation. Earlier, there was another ERP software called EBS. It's an old ERP, and still it's there. There are some thousands of clients on EBS. People are using that. Okay. So there we call it as a multi-arch structure. In SAP, we call it as a company structure. Okay. So like that, the name might be different, but this concept will find everywhere. The concept will find everywhere here. And if you compare with this Fusion enterprise structure with EBS multi-arch structure, then we are going to have these options here. First, enterprise division. After that, we are going to have LDZ. LDZ means here business group. And then ledgers are common, legal entity common. Here operating unit, we call it as in EBS. Here we call it as business units. Then we are going to have here inventory organization. Same here also. The remaining common. There and here both are same. No difference here. This is multi-org hierarchy in EBS. When it comes for Fusion applications, this is enterprise and divisions, LDZ, ledger, legal entity, business unit, reference data set and departments, and inventory organizations. Then we are going to have sub-inventories, locations, and items. This is all we are going to have. Okay. So this is about the enterprise structure. Yes. Any doubts here in the enterprise structure hierarchy, please? There will be only one enterprise. Within this enterprise, we can go for find multiple divisions, multiple LDZs, ledgers, legal entity, business units, reference data set, and other things in case if required. In case if required, this is the hierarchy. If we work for every client, any client in the world, the hierarchy is same, but the number of organizations might be different, more or less.
Sorry, I have a question like further to the department, let's say they have one more structure or one more level below to that. Is it possible to configure or customize that within the
sorry, which one? One more structure means?
Let's say under departments have got teams, let's say sub-department teams.
I think department is the last. Within the department, we don't have options. But we can define department trees, nothing but parent and child department means the hierarchy.
Okay.
So there maybe we can go for specify parent department and child departments like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Please.
Legal entity, you say it's like the places where the business is registered, the different places. Okay, so and as well, can it also be the kind of different products? It can be defined as places where it is the the enterprise is doing business, say they are doing business in India, they are doing business in America, those are legal entities, they are registered there. Is that
Yes, we have to
correct?
define. Yes, we have to define like that. For example, if client has started business in India, Singapore, and Malaysia, 3 countries,
Yes.
then we are supposed to define 3 legal entities.
Okay.
Obviously, if we want to start a business in Singapore, first we need to take the permission from the government. That's
Yes.
called registration. Will allocate the organization name and code and tax number and legal address and tax reporting units. This all we have to configure. Geography, permissions, this jurisdictions. This all we have need to set.
Okay, but you said something about the kind of business. Maybe there is an enterprise, but the enterprise is doing, say, business in restaurant, and they have another business, say, in the music industry. Can you refer to those as legal entities? I thought I heard that. Is that correct?
Yes, we can define that.
Okay.
We can define. There will be an enterprise at the top level hierarchy. Within that
Yes.
enterprise, the client might have some insurance domain, finance domain, or electronics or whatever is there that we can go for configure. So on the top of that, division will be used to to set up the business profit and loss area wise. For example, I'm doing the business in India. End of the year, I just wanted to know in North India what is my business and South India what is my business. We wanted to go for generalize that when it comes to the profit and loss. In that scenario, we will be using this.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Sir, lastly, you compared enterprise structure with the EBS. So
Yes.
what is of knowing EBS here?
EBS is actually one of the old ERP. It's provided by Oracle in 1995. It's on-premises ERP software, and most of the clients earlier they were using that. It's a big competitor for SAP. And when the Oracle Fusion has came into the picture, Oracle is not promoting this EBS ERP to the client. It's on-premises. It means every client can buy this EBS ERP software, install in their servers, and perform all the operations. There also will find financials, HRMS, supply chain management, CRM, and other options here. Right. So then we will be having this ERP comparison. Obviously, even Oracle has designed this Vision ERP newly, which is compatible for cloud and digital and compatible for mobility and also compatible for analytics. But EBS does not have the digitalization, does not have the access to the mobility. It cannot be having any cloud compatibility, and it does not have any analytics or artificial intelligence or machine learning or blockchain. None of these features we don't find here. That's why Oracle currently clients are expectations are complete digitalization. That's the reason we came up for here.
Okay.
That is just theoretically you can have some idea.
Okay. It is just because of this is a previous product of Oracle. So we compared it, right?
Yes. That's a previous product, and just we are trying to compare. Like some people might be from EBS background. I just wanted to tell them that it's not required for the people who are learning Fusion applications directly.
Okay.
What is the difference between business units and RDS? Like why we need to first map with reference data
Yes.
sets?
Business unit RDS is basically it's a logic we are having in this. Just 1 minute. Here, business units we are going to create. Business unit is nothing but where the client is doing main business operations. Okay, so let's say we have 400 business units. Now, client is telling that I have 10 departments, for example, 10 different departments: finance, admin, sales, and support and service. Like that, we have different departments. Okay. So now we wanted to go for attach this 10 departments for all the 400 business units. If we do not have a reference data set concept, so what we have to do, one by one department, we have to assign to the business units. First 10 departments, we have to assign to one BU. Again, 10 departments to second BU, like that. This will be 400 multiple by 10 times. It is going to be. So we have to do it 4,000 times. We have to assign one by one to the business units. Instead of that, what Oracle says, whatever the departments you want to assign to the business unit, first group it. For example, for business unit 1, you want to assign 5 departments. First group that 5 departments. And client is telling this 5 departments assigned to 100 business units. So we don't need to assign one by one department to the business units of 100. All are group. That group we are going to assign to the business unit. That group is nothing but a reference data set. So what it will do is it will group your objects and assign that objects to the business units instead of adding one by one. That is the purpose of reference data set, and it's mandatory. Not only in human capital management, finance and supply, there will be around 30 to 40 objects are there. But when it comes for human capital management, we have only 4 objects: department, job, grades, and locations.
Okay.
Because most of the business units are required same departments, same jobs, same grades, right? So in that scenario, why do we need to go for enter one by one? Let's group those common department. For example, client is telling there is a department called finance department, and he says that finance department is required for all business units. So we don't need to assign this finance department 400 times to the business units. Just create a department finance as common set. So when you create as a common set, what will happen? It's going to be assigned for all the business units, whichever we have here.
Okay. So these orderization we follow just for the documentation, or else in depth you're going to explain how to implement in the.
We are going to create, right? Enterprise structure can be configured in 2 ways. One, we can use this ESC enterprise structure configurator. There is a tool. By using this enterprise structure configurator tool, we can easily configure the enterprise structure within 30 minutes. That's an advantage of this tool, but we will not be able to fully configure the enterprise structure. That's why most of the clients will not follow this ESC enterprise structure configurator. Manually, we are going to configure one by one. We'll be creating the divisions, we'll be creating reference data sets, we'll be creating legal entities, we'll be creating business units, departments, jobs, grades, and how we are going to do it manually. While working with the legal entities, again, we'll come up with the legal employer, PSU, registration unit, reporting units, tax reporting units. This is all we are going to discuss.
Okay.
When we talk about the enterprise structure configurator tool, there is an option here. For instance, go to setup and maintenance here. Establish enterprise structure. But we don't use in the real time this establish enterprise structure options because most of the clients' requirement will be dynamic. So this particular tool will not satisfy our requirements. That's why what we will do is we'll go for manually configuration of enterprise structure, but we'll be doing once. We are going to discuss how we can go for configure enterprise structure one time by using this tool, So this we call it as configuration of enterprise divisions, legal. I think someone has changed the font and other. So that's might be the reason. Okay, so that's a simple thing we can change in personalization. We'll see that in our training. So here we will be configuring our enterprise structure by using this tool, ESC, Enterprise Structure Configurator tool. And as I said, we don't use this one wizard-based tool, but still we'll just create one time. Then we are going to do it manually. Manually, we are going to configure this entire enterprise structure process over here. It is. And guys, let's see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be starting with our regular classes, and we'll go for setting up the enterprise structure one by one here. Whatever the syllabus options we have here, this is all we'll be discussing practically one by one. And in fact, the same components we are going to mention in our resume, roles and responsibilities of the project. And this is the technical syllabus which we are going to have it. Here it is.
Sir, what is the procedure to get the link for tomorrow class?
Yeah, but you have this number, right? Admin number. You need to communicate with this.
Okay.
888-555. Let me.
So with this training, we can say ourselves as a techno-functional consultant by the end of this course.
Yes. Functionally 100% fit, and technically you are going to have the 30% of our syllabus we are going to cover. If at all you want to go for build your technical skills, in our mobile app, we have established the course, technical course. I think it's around 500 rupees. It means it comes around $8 or something. So after completion of this functional course, you can go for the technical course in case if you want to build your skills. Generally, not required if somebody, excuse me, some seniors will be there who wants to go ahead with the 18 lakhs or 20 lakhs package in India, then definitely they have to go ahead with technical as well as functional.
Okay. For technical, only SQL is needed, sir, or anything else we should be in expertise?
Technical, we have BI reports. No, there is something called HDL, HCM data loaders.
Okay.
At least it takes 20 hours time to understand that data loading. Yeah. And guys, let's see you tomorrow on the same time with the different meeting ID.
Just a question, sir.
Yes.
The phone numbers that you have just put up now, is that, should we call to get the link for tomorrow or what?
Yes, you can call with them through WhatsApp. They'll explain you the enrollment process, and also then they will be providing you the meeting area.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time which you have spent with us last 2 days and this one. Thank you very much. And you can be in touch with our subscription. We'll be able to get latest versions and latest interview questions and placement training options over here. Thank you.
Thank you.